Welcome back to the DSR channel. This is week 9, and we're covering the UA that just released today called Subclasses Update, which is awesome. It's 5 subclasses, 5 of the subclasses that I loved from before 2024. They're from different editions and different books, and I've been wanting them to update these. So I'm excited to see this. Wow, these guys are crazy. Like, this is the second UA they've done this month, and they released a full book. So woo! All right, Cavalier Fighter. That's one we're going to do here. And this one was near and dear to my heart. I loved this subclass in the previous version. It had some problems, and so I was both anxious to make sure that they fixed those problems, but also anxious that they might mess it up. So I'm happy to say they didn't mess it up, but they only fixed some of the problems. So I'm going to give this one a yellow, for because they have improved it. They didn't make anything worse, but there's still some things that they should fix. Okay. Let's get into it. So, Cavalier Fighter, defend your allies on foot or from a mount. Cavaliers excel at mounted combat and guard those in charge, often protecting their superiors and the weak. A cavalier is equally at home leading cavalry charge or exchanging repartees at a state dinner party. uh, that's some good flavor text. All right, so first up, bonus proficiency, no change. It's identical. Born to the saddle, no change. It's identical. And let's scroll down here, see unwavering mark. It got shorter, which is always nice. The first 2 paragraphs, identical. Okay, it's that third paragraph that changed in the UA. So I'm going to read that. So in addition to, also I want to pause before I read that. Sorry. It says, while within 5 feet of you, a creature marked by you has disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures other than you. So it's a taunt, the soft taunt, but they need to fix that 5-foot thing. That 5-foot thing is like a huge problem to the tanking role you're trying to play in the party, right? And you're going to run up and try to tank and hit these guys, and now they're soft taunted. If they can just move away from you, your taunt meant nothing, right? And sure, you could try to get Sentinel to prevent them from moving away from you, or some other effects, the slow mastery, things like that, to keep them from moving away. But with Sentinel, you're going to stop one, right, at best, and you may miss. With slow, you're reducing their movement by 10, so they've still got like at least 20 left most of the time. This really hurts you as a tank. So they need to fix that. Just delete the whole line. It's unnecessary. No other tanks have that. No other tank subclasses have that. And frankly, the protection fighting style is better than this soft taunt now. They updated the protection fighting style in 2024, so it is better. Okay, and it doesn't have a limit on the distance. So if they leave this, this is crippling to this whole subclass. The whole subclass, like, undermines it, and you might just be a dead subclass if they don't fix that one thing. Okay, so they got to fix that. Point it out in the feedback survey. Tell them they've got to fix that. All right, so the thing they changed. In addition, if a creature marked by you hits a creature other than you with an attack roll, you have advantage on attack rolls against the marked creature until the end of your next turn. So what it used to do was, if they hit a creature other than you, and they deal damage. So this is now triggered on a hit with an attack roll. Previously, it was that if they just do damage to anyone other than you, it triggered this special thing. The thing it triggered was that you now, on your next turn, you had advantage. You had got an extra bonus attack, a special attack that you could use for your bonus actions, right? So with your bonus action, on your next turn, after they damage somebody after you mark them, you could then use your bonus action to attack that creature that did the damage while they were marked by you, and you would have advantage on that attack roll, that one attack roll. And if it hit, you would deal extra damage equal to half your fighter level. So it was complex, and you can only do it a number of times equal to your strength modifier. And you got those back on a long rest. So it was complicated, hard to remember, right? Just like the last video, having something happen now, and then you have to remember that on your next turn against that target, right? Not anybody. You don't just get a bonus action against anybody. It had to be against that target who triggered this. And then you got a bonus action attack. And then you had to mark off a resource use. So I like that they simplified it. Getting advantage on all your attack rolls against them is, I think, better. It may not be better at this level, but as the fighter, if you stay fighter, single class fighter, as you gain more and more attacks, having advantage on 3 attacks and then 4 attacks is way better than a sometimes limited use extra bonus action attack. Yeah, which you could get anyway with Hugh from your Great Weapon Master. Like, if you just crit or kill somebody, you're going to get a bonus action attack anyway. So That's better. That part is a lot better, better in every way. They just need to fix that 5 foot limitation on unwavering mark, and then unwavering mark will be great. Warding maneuver. This one completely unchanged. I couldn't find a single change to it. This is identical to the way it worked before. Uh, and this is another thing that I think that they need to fix because it uses your reaction. It's like the well, I mean it's kind of like the interception fighting style. Instead of reducing the damage, though, you're raising your allies' AC, or you can raise your own AC. So it's kind of like this weird mix between interception and the defensive duelist fighting feat. But the problem is it uses your reaction, and the reaction is a whole problem, which I'm going to come back to at the end of this class. But the reaction part of this is the problem, and let me finish getting through the other things because then it'll make more sense when I say the reaction is the problem. All right, so just pause, and we'll come back to this one. Hold the line. Hold the line completely unchanged, and hold the line is awesome. I don't know if everybody like. I don't think I've ever seen anybody play with the Cavalier. I think I'm the only one who ever made a Cavalier and played it. Uh, yeah, I did play the Cavalier, and this is awesome. And it's because at these later levels that this turns into from kind of one of the weaker tanks because of that 5 foot limit to suddenly this is the best tank in the game. Yeah, I know I said that about the Ancestral Guardian, but this one really is the best. This one is better than the Ancestral Guardian because of Hold the Line and the level 18 feature. So Hold the Line at level 10 means this is better than the Sentinel, right? So if you think this is the same as Sentinel, no, this is better than Sentinel because they no longer have to leave your reach to trigger this. If they just move 5 feet within your reach, this triggers, okay? And it doesn't matter if they've disengaged or what. It doesn't matter if they have a thing that says your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks because this isn't a regular opportunity attack. If they just move 5 feet within your reach, you get an opportunity attack on them. So this overrides the general case, okay? Which means if you have a reach weapon, you now have this area that's 25 by 25, right? Because you plus 10 feet around you, where if anybody moves, you can hit them and reduce their speed to 0, okay? Now, that's good, but not like great yet. When you combine that with the level 18 feature, so I'll come back to this, the level 18 feature makes this OP. No, I take that back. Don't let WotC hear that because I don't want them to nerf it. The level 18 feature makes this awesome. Okay, not too much. Nobody put it in the survey of feedback that that's too much. Okay, I love tanks. Let's keep going. All right, level 15, Ferocious Charger. So this one they changed. This is a big redesign. During the first round of each combat, you and your mount's speed increases by 10 feet, and your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks for that round. When you move within 5 feet of a creature this round, that creature must succeed on a strength saving throw, which standard calculation based on your strength. You either push it 5 feet away or cause it to have the prone condition. A creature makes a save only once during a turn. So it used to be kind of like the Charger feat, which is if you move at any time, any round, if you move at least 10 feet in a straight line towards a creature and then you attack it and hit it, they might be knocked prone. And you can only use this one on once on each of your turns. So it's not like they needed to redesign this, except that the weapon mastery topple kind of makes this pointless because you can just topple on every hit, and you could have had topple since level 1, right? And you're a fighter, so you have 6 weapon masteries by level 15, 5 or 6. So you definitely have topple on some weapon. And by the way, you can just change one of them on a long rest if you want topple. So you can have topple at any time. The DC is the same. The only difference here is that this is a strength saving throw and topple's a constitution saving throw. Anyway, I do think it needed to change because of topple. So Ferocious Charger, though, I do like this idea because it kind of creates this visual of you charging through a line of enemies and just like knocking them back, knocking them over, and charging through them to reach like the back line for some reason, which would be a very good thing to do tactically. Like there's the spellcaster in the back row, and he's got a whole line of his own frontliners, and you're going to charge through them to get to the back line. And now you're just right there by the back line attacking him. Except that here's the problems. One, you can only do this on the first round of combat. So if it doesn't work on the first round, you're stuck. 2, if you knock them prone, you still can't move through their spaces. right? Just because they're prone doesn't mean you can move through them as if they were difficult terrain. Now, if they're medium and you're on a large sized mount, you can move through them. Sorry, if they're small and you're on a large size mount, right? Your mount has to be 2 sizes larger than them. So you'd have to be on a huge mount to just walk over medium sized creatures. So that's the first problem, right? And I think they could fix that by just saying you can move through enemy spaces as a as difficult terrain when you do this. The next problem with this is you're the wrong character to charge past the front line to get to the enemy's back line, right? You're a tank. The party wants you tanking their front line, right? The person who you want to be back there by their back line, whoever that is, the caster, you want that to be your skirmishers, even some of your high damage frontliners, right? Like you want them on the back line and your party wants you on the front line. So you don't want to charge through the front line. You want to be on the front line. So this is a cool ability on the wrong character, on the wrong subclass. So Ferocious Charger, make it first round of combat. You get the extra movement speed, and maybe you cause the frightened condition. They need to make a save, or they're frightened of you, right? You ferociously charge them right up to the front line, right? And make it an AOE, right? Some sort of at least 10-foot emanation for that round where they're frightened of you, and make it last at least until the end of your next turn. Even that feels weak for a level 15 ability. I think it needs more. Maybe you can do it on every round of combat, and it's just whenever you maybe make it like a bonus action, so it takes some action economy. So as a bonus action, you move half your movement speed, and wherever you end up, enemies within 10 feet have to make a saving throw or they're frightened of you until the end of your next turn. I don't know. That might be too much. Okay, but I don't know. One round frightened that you can keep doing. You just got to keep moving, which means you would be that would force you to make decisions about being out of position. So that's kind of an interesting trade-off. I don't know. Needs work. All right. Level 18 Vigilant Defender. They didn't change this one at all, but I still want to talk about it because this gets to one of the big problems with this subclass, or the biggest problem left with this subclass, which is, all right, so let me read this. So level 18 Vigilant Defender. In combat, you get a special reaction that you can take once on every creature's turn except your turn. And you can take this reaction only to make an opportunity attack, and you can't take it on the same turn you take your normal reaction. So this gives you another reaction on every creature's turn. Every creature, even your allies. Okay. So now there's the whole debate about the fact that they changed the wording of opportunity attack. You can opportunity attack your allies. Why would you want to do that? Because you can just unarmed strike, push them 5 feet. So whenever your allies are moving out of your reach, you can give it a little boop and give them 5 feet boost. Or if you have a buff spell, you can get Warcaster and boop, buff them as they move out of your reach. And you can do that on every ally's turn and still opportunity attack every single enemy on their turn. And it's this opportunity attack, right? So this is where the level 10 feature becomes crazy. Because if you have a reach weapon, your opportunity attack triggers when they just move 5 feet. So anybody who moves within your area of reach, you can opportunity attack them, and if you hit them, their speed is 0. So you can just be the front line all by yourself. You no longer need anybody else in the front line. You are the front line by yourself. So if anybody moves within your reach, you have a reach weapon, and their movement 0. And then that guy can't. If maybe he can reach you, I don't know. Maybe he can shoot a ranged weapon. But then the next enemy takes his turn, and his movement's 0. And the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy. And that's just on their turns. And you did damage. So you're just wrecking them. You can like AoE and there's no limit. So let's say you're killing them. Let's say that there's just an army of goblins and you're in this hallway that's 25 feet wide, which if you have a reach weapon, you can cover that whole hallway. And just 1,000 goblins are trying to run past you. And if you can kill them in one hit, you can attack 1,000 times in one round. Just, give me a flood of goblins. Just dunk, 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 dunk. It's whack-a-mole. Just kill them all. But don't tell WotC I said that, because I don't want them to nerf it. I love this. I want to see a Cavalier do this in one of my games. So don't tell them. Mum's the word. All right. So what is the problem with reactions? And then you get your normal reaction, right? And by this level, the feature that's called warding maneuver that they didn't change at all, then it's fine, okay? because now you can use your special reaction on every enemy's turn to stop them, basically the equivalent of Sentinel. And now you can use your normal reaction for warding maneuver to either protect yourself, or if somebody gets past you and you've got a frontliner next to you and that guy gets hit by a massive attack, you can use your warding maneuver with your regular reaction to block it. But here's the problem with this whole the problem with this whole subclass is, first, you don't get these features that are like Sentinel but better until level 10 and 18. Okay? But before that, you really want Sentinel because of that 5-foot restriction on your taunt. And you kind of want it anyway, right? Like you get the bonus reaction attack if they attack your ally. Like there's a lot of benefits to Sentinel even without that. And so you want Sentinel, but if you take it at a lower level, then it's wasted when you get to level 10 and 18. Unless you're a cool DM like I am, where I allow you to swap out a feat for another feat that you qualified for at the same level whenever you level up. So if you level up, you can swap out a feat. So if you get to level 10, you could have with me, you could have Sentinel until level 10, and once you hit level 10, you can swap it for something else. But that's not rules as written. So you can't count on that. And now you have a problem, right? So now you have this character who really should be using Sentinel, and you should not take it, because if you get these higher levels, you've wasted it. It's like a wasted feat. Right? So that's one of their problems. Their problem is then just the contention for reaction, right? You want to be using Sentinel, maybe you've got the interception, fighting style, which you shouldn't. That one's terrible. But the protection fighting style, you have too much contention for your reaction, and then you've got this warding maneuver that is also contention for your reaction. So they need to. I like the warding maneuver. I think they need to make it work differently and not based off your reaction. I think they either need to move these features earlier in the character, like at least hold the line. They need to hold the line a lot earlier so that you don't feel like you're suffering as a tank. They need to remove that 5-foot restriction on their soft taunt, or change the base rule of the game so that you can swap a feat when you level up. They've got to do one of those things, maybe two of those things, to make this all work. Okay. But that's the Cavalier. This is a class I love, and I don't know why. I mean, I run high-level one-shots. It's been on a year or so since I've run a high-level one-shot. And I've never seen anybody do a Cavalier. I would love to see a Cavalier just come in and wreck an army of kobolds and goblins or something like that, just by themselves. That would just be hilarious, and I would love it so much as the DM. I love it when my players are just kicking butt and just having a great time. So I'm here for it. All right. Thanks for watching. Hope to catch you next time.